out what she's got to figure out. Did everybody bring something to drink?
Yeah.
All right, we got a couple minutes if you want to go grab something. If you got any of your holy water, if not, you can do a symbolic glass or cup or your hands. So when we do communion, you can symbolically be holding something. Like I like the hearts. That's a nice touch. Very nice.
Yeah, I ate some beets the other day and it looked like almost blood and so red.
Yeah, but it wasn't blood.
No.
Wonderful, wonderful. Annie, would you like to offer? I don't know if I asked you before. Would you like to offer a prayer for our communion?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. And I'll say, thank you, infinite awareness, for what we are about to receive and make us truly grateful. And so it is.
So it is. So be it. You had water all along? I saw you with that golden water. That was beautiful. All right, guys, we're going to pull out the book here in just a second. Did you guys try anything new this last week? Did you learn any new protocols? Did you make up something new? Did you do the same old, same old?
Well, and they had an idea, and because we got a sprinkler. It was kind of a hairball idea, but I thought, I could run a pump to a big jug of urine and push it out the sprinkler, and we could have a sprinkler day.
You heard it here first. It's fun for the entire family. Keep your community healthy. Put the sprinkler on. Get the children out there on a hot day.
You know, I'm going to make a joke out of this one because it's like a whole new spin on golden showers.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Family did a golden shower and nobody peed on each other, but we were underneath the shower of golden water.
Yeah, beautiful. So we're gonna rig that up and we'll take a couple of photos and videos and make a tutorial.
Good, good. I would like to. I threw down this challenge earlier this year. And nobody's done it yet, but I kind of did a video of it. It's called the Bucket Challenge. And the bucket challenge was similar to the ice bucket challenge, where people would take the bucket full of ice and they'd pour it over their head and they would video it and then they would submit it. They would upload it. So what I did was I took a bucket of Orin and poured it all over my head. I was in the backyard with shorts on. I was all over my head, but it was evolving Orin. And every time I went to open my eyes, I couldn't open my eyes because the sting wouldn't stop. So I stopped the video. But the whole idea is to record yourself throwing a bucket of Orin over your head. And Tanya, I put your lovely video on my YouTube channel. It's gotten 150 views in 2 days.
I saw it.
So all the lovelies who caught your message were delighted, I'm sure. So we've got a couple hours here. And does anybody want to get any clarification on anything we've been studying up until now? Anything you might be unsure of, or anything you need some deeper teaching on? Now would be a time to bring that up.
I have one question. I know I can go online and there's so many resources and in the book, I just haven't. But could you briefly remind me of the protocols if you have blood in your urine, which means, indicating a urinary tract infection and what to do with that?
Okay. And I need to know where these doctors come up with these diagnoses. A urinary tract in a sterile environment like a bladder and a urethra. Yeah, I would go back into oral drinking, foot soaking, um, compresses, that
Okay,
kind of stuff.
right.
No,
Yeah, I thought kidney stones are the most common cause of hematuria or blood in the urine.
hmm And the kidney stones, when they're released, do they release out in the stool? Do they release out in the urine? The stones?
Um, Usually in the urine, in the
And
collect.
would that hurt coming out?
Oh yeah, that's a pretty. I think it's a pretty common cause for people to go to the hospital or emergency department
Yeah.
when they get
Um,
stuck in the ureter.
your ureter, yeah. So yeah, I would hit those kind of protocols.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Tanya, breathe. All right. Anybody explain the difference between nose drinking and oral consumption? What would be the difference and what would be the benefits of one over the other? Are they different categories? Anybody want to address that? If you're drinking the urine, it's going to go from the mouth and esophagus down the body. If you're drinking up the nose, you're going to access the brain and the sinuses and the brain above the neck. So you're going to get it delivered in two different fashions. The people who doing the nose drinking and swearing by it, like Dr. Loda, who came on our conference call last week, and Samuel Cohen and even Harry are saying that it's decalcifying the pineal gland. People are getting better at visionaries and getting better at creativity. This is a thing that you would recommend to someone who either has autism, Alzheimer's, senility, dementia, forgetfulness, imbalance, neurological diseases would be nose drinking, nose sniffing.
Like ADHD as well.
Yeah, anything that's
Mm.
brain related, but it's
Yeah.
also gut related.
Mm-hmm.
Because Doc Mike has been teaching that people with autistic uh, problems have an imbalance in the gut.
Mhm.
And I told you we're working with this autistic young man out in California, and Amity has been giving him foot soaks, massages, and got him drinking his own urine. So I would like to see his health turn around, and that he can be a poster child, and we can let parents know that their kids don't have to be stuck with autism. Now I ran into a woman at the trail. I do a lot of hikes around this area, and she had a dog was in a baby carriage, and the dog had a plastic bag around one of its paws, and she said, "Well, he just had surgery and had to have a toe removed, and the other." He's got a problem with his other foot, and da da da. I said, "Have you ever considered putting urine on your dog's feet, fur, and food?" She says, "Tell me more." I said, "Well, more and more pet owners are having their dog's health turn around and be healed using their urine, not getting underneath their hind legs and trying to collect the dog's urine." And so I gave her my business card that goes right to shivambhu.org, and I hope she'll do something with it.
Awesome.
So I recommend you have something on you at all times that lead people to Shivambhu teachings, whether it's our nonprofit or wherever you want to direct them, because there's going to be opportunities left and right when you overhear a conversation and people feel desperate for answers, and you go, "Well, you might want to try urine therapy."
Mm. Yeah, I shared that yesterday. It's quite funny. While Zach was on the raft, um, there were two guys and a girl. They must have been in their early 20s, and they came up from the river. And one of the guys had injured his foot. And I just, when people walk past my car, I was just sitting, I look them in the eyes and I just give a little smile. So I guess that they felt comfortable approaching me and they asked me for a band aid. And I said, "What happened?" And he showed me his foot, and he had removed a bit of the skin on his heel,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't bleeding too much. And I said to him, "You know what you got to do now, right?" And he looks at me, and I go, "You got to pee on it." And he seemed a little bit perplexed, but it was almost like he had heard it before.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just funny. And he just smiled and laughed and walked away, But I planted a seed, but I could have really used one of those handbooks for sure to just hand it out to these guys for them to have a look at.
Definitely. Did you get one yet?
No, it hasn't arrived yet. We're keeping a lookout in the mail.
Okay. Yeah, that handbook's going to come in handy for being your backup teacher.
Hmm. I definitely keep a few copies in the car because I get a lot of, out and about
Mm-hmm.
if emergencies are happening. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the habit of keeping in the car in the backpack. I'm at the farmer's market the other day, and this guy who's a panhandler, lovely, great-hearted soul, Steele. He's been out there. He's in a wheelchair. He's an ex-vet. Because of the war injury, his hands are bent like this. And I've been trying to teach him, soak your hands in the pee, soak your hands in the pee. And he's going back to some physical therapist who's trying to get his tendons to open up so he can use his hands again. And he's got a copy of my book now. So there's going to be opportunities left and right. There are people going, well, what would you recommend? Well, I've got the best thing to recommend, and it comes from you. Your body produces it. All right, Tanya, we did our open communion, so you're already covered. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Yes, Tanya.
Cheers.
Cheers. Here's to your health. So we're going to
Yeah.
page. We got your books, your PDFs. What is it you guys are using?
PDF.
All right, we're on page 161, which is in chapter 11. 161. I get to hang with you guys before going to the farmer's market, and then I'll be back. We're going to do a community potluck and fire and maybe some drumming this afternoon.
Oh, that sounds great.
Oh, yeah, I get to pull out my djembe and go for it. I didn't know I was going to love drumming until someone gave me a djembe. I'm going, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm right at home with the drum.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
dad did a couple of those.
All right, so we're on page 161 at the top of the page. Here we go. You guys ready? Yes, you're ready. Wow, was it hard for you to take that first drink? I was 40 at the time. This is my story. I was 40 at the time and had experimented with just about everything imaginable. Considering all the many methods of healing that I had tried, as a way to become healthy, drinking my pee was not much of a leap. What really convinced me to go for the first sip and drink was the writings of Cohen Vanderkroon, The Golden Fountain, you might have heard of it already, and The Secrets of Youthing by Leonard. It was the reminder by Leonard, a devotee of Babaji, which he always referred to as Lord Shiva, that spoke to me. Well, since Shiva sent Leonard to deliver the Shivambhu message, of course I said yes. What has it done for you? It healed intestines, vision problems, hearing sharpened, calm, restless mind. Keeping the discipline of using UT protocols every day for 28 years continues to bring me a clear, calm mind, balanced emotions, and boundless energy all day long. Anybody else have that problem? Your energy is off the charts. At the end of the day, you realize you didn't stop. You kept producing things. You kept going somewhere. You kept working on something.
Yeah, absolutely. Like looping, I just have so much energy, and we have this joke between us that, our week has been just so amazing. And looping the Oran, just, I feel euphoric. And every time we have a beautiful meal or we have a foot bath outside and it's a sunny day and we're just sitting, I turn to Zach and I'm like, I'm just trying to keep it together. Like I'm just trying to keep things together. Life is so amazing, like yeah.
Yep, I love that kind of story. It's beautiful. So, all right, we're page 162. I've always thought it was a waste product. It's always what I heard about. This is how to respond to some of the people who are giving you comments. Where did you get this idea from? This is the first thing you want to ask somebody. They say it's a waste product. You go, okay. how do you know this stuff? Where did you get the idea from? What made you think this was true? Perhaps the medical system made it all up to hide the knowledge of Shivambhu from us. Why would anyone want to drink his or her pee? When I was done explaining the truth about Orin and have answered all your questions, you will be convinced. Only when your motivation or why is strong enough to take action to get well will you hear and understand why millions are healthier and happier because they made the choice to begin and practice AUT every day. Someone said to me the other day, you know, it's going to be a long time before drinking pee gets popular and gets caught on. I said, you know, you really haven't been on social media very often, have you? Because we're up to 1 billion people now. And that's not a small amount of people. So yeah, this is a movement. This is, to me, it's the movement of all movements because it's liberation that you can take matters into your own hands. No pun intended. There's never a lack of material if you want to be a comedian around pee. So you know I'm sure you guys are having fun with this. Trust me, you will be glad you did. Why should I trust you or take your word for it that it's safe and healthy for me to drink my pee? Do I appear sane and sincere that AUT is the real deal? Page 163. Check in with yourself now and see how you feel about AUT and if you're ready to go for it. By planting this one idea in their mind, concerns start to wash away as they sense your certainty and sincerity about AUT's potential to help restore their health. And they're going to look you straight in the eye, guys, and trying to see if you're going to flinch. When you say, yeah, I'm serious about it. This stuff has changed my life. It's helped a whole lot of people. And they're going to notice you didn't change your position one bit. They're either going to get it or they're going to run. These people they mean it. They're serious. Yeah, you should start getting serious about it too. All right, page 163. What if we're right and urine really is perfect medicine and the medical system got it wrong? Okay, you got my attention. How do I start? That is the magic moment when you get them to that point where the window in their mind is opened up and they're ready to take the first sip. That's when you step in. Remember, you and your client can only succeed as long as you take the position of a servant, a guide, a mentor, and not a personality, an ego, or identity that's seeking to prove anything. Does that make sense? You don't have a secret agenda. You're not trying to sell them anything. You're not trying to convince them. Thank you. Bottom 163. Offer a personal story as confirmation or validation that you got results, proving to them you are not a snake oil salesperson, are sincere, and do walk your talk. Now, there's a guy in Wisconsin who contacted Doc Mike, and Doc Mike has been passing around this Orin exchange program that he came up with a little gauze pad. Did I tell you about that?
Yeah, he posted that on Shivambhu, I think.
Yeah, several times, and is starting to build momentum. Well, he got the attention of this guy named Gilmer Tuggins, who's out in Wisconsin, who has an old-time ma and pa grocery store in his town. He wants to take those gauze pads that have been soaked and dried in urine, put them in a tea bag, and sell them in his grocery store. I said, that's a brilliant idea. Why don't you call him a pee bag?
Yeah.
So I'll let you know if that guy pulls it off. People are coming up with the most amazing inventions. You can also offer the stories of others like a third party to satisfy their needs for testimonials, page 164. Teach what AUT has done for others. Learn how UT teachers are designing general suggestions, which we're going to get into in just a little bit. Or have we? No, we already passed that. Number 2, teach basic 101. Keep it simple. Avoid talking over their head no matter how much they appear to know. And this is where people get into trouble. They start talking about the research. They talk about science. They talk about all kinds of stuff, which is over the heads of most people. And if you find someone who is like got the brain of a quantum physician and he'll interpret whatever you're saying through that kind of consciousness, you have to step up your brain, or you have to say, well, I really don't know that. Talk to Doc Group or Doc Mike or somebody else, so that you can still refer them to somebody without looking like a fool. That's called knowing your audience. There is, of course, not much you can do with skeptics or closed minds, yet you have planted a seed which may take root and grow someday. Those that are serious about saving their lives and healing themselves will be listening and will take your advice. Teach the joy of drinking one's own water and all AUT protocols. Clients will guide you in taking the next step and dive deeper into the AUT lifestyle. Did I tell you about Layla and her broken foot? She was putting evolving Orin on her broken foot. She got rid of her boot in about 10 days. It normally takes 6 weeks. And she decided that she had an eye problem. She was going to toss evolving Orin in her eyes. And she never did it before. Yeah, she had the 2-second sting, but it was all over. She said her vision was better than it's been in years. And the reason I brought that up because somebody had posted on Instagram that putting evolving Orin in the eyes was not a good practice. And so I don't know if you caught my video. I said, people have a negative experience and then they express their opinions publicly, and that influences the way people approach this water. So as Harry and I have been teaching for years, avoid getting into dogma around this water.
Couldn't, for putting it in the eyes and ears, couldn't that depend on the pH of it or how evolved it is? Because like I did this swish and literally all the skin came out of like a layer of skin came out of my mouth. So then after that, I've avoided putting really high pH stuff like in my eyes or ears or mouth.
Mm-hmm. Well, A, I'm avoiding dogma, and B, I think it's case by case. It's not
Yeah.
I don't know, it's generalized kind of conversation. Yeah, I mean you're looking at the chemical aspect of the water.
Yeah. I guess it depends if it's 4-day-old age versus 2-year-old age. It could be the big difference, maybe.
Yeah, it could be an experiment with it. I mean, I've tried Orin from somebody who I know closely, and it was 10-year-old Orin, and it was dark black, and she
Yeah.
was feeding it to her husband who was in the hospital. You kind of know who I'm talking about. And I said, let me try it. Let me try your Orin. So I tried it, and it tasted like rancid soy sauce. I mean, it had so much salty and bitter and all kinds of stuff. And I come to realize that her diet was really not that good, even though she was doing urine therapy. Her and her husband were wealthy and they liked the high life, the fine life of going to hotels and fancy restaurants and drinking wine and eating anything under the sun, pizza, you name it. And so it showed up in her Orin.
Do you think the stuff that turns black over time is from a less healthy diet? Because I have some that I have that's 3 months old or 6 months old that's yellow, and some that's like so black you can't see through it at all.
Yeah, and what kind of diet were you on while you were collecting it?
I don't really think my diet was that much different.
Well, what was it?
Um,
What were you eating?
I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables and maybe some kind of meat once a day or so.
Well, it's a great question, Ben. And there are people in this water family who understand science and medicine and can zoom in a microscope. I mean, some of the people in this community have that 100 times magnification microscopes that can look closely, cellularly, get down and really close. These people could answer those kind of questions.
Yeah, I'm looking to get a microscope if you know anybody who has recommendations for my ecology work.
Yeah, her name is Fiona. She's in California, and if you'll remind me, I'll connect you with her.
Okay.
A name that popped in as well is that Fabian. Is he from the UK, Brother Sage?
Yes,
Fabian's the scientist. I've watched a few of his videos. He's really good with that sort of stuff.
Yeah, he speaks that language.
Yeah.
Fabian
then
Corcorian.
in terms back to the mouth swishing, I think again in my experience it was a very intuitive thing. So I also took evolving and put it in my mouth and experienced the removal of the cells skin, but then intuitively most of the time I actually just swish fresh in the morning. So I find it, with the intuition I just do the evolving whenever I'm guided to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some dark old stuff. It really hurts a lot if you put it plain in my mouth.
Mm.
Have you tried diluting it with fresh or with distilled water?
Yeah, I've actually started using it like 1/4 of that and 1/4 and 3/4 fresh, and that's what I've been swishing with like multiple times a day now.
And is that more palatable?
Oh yeah, it's much better.
Okay. Um, one thing I notice in the community, if something just doesn't look right, taste right, feel right in the evolving water, people tend to throw it out. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. Put it on your body. Use it externally or put it in your plants, but don't toss it out.
Yeah, I don't toss any out.
Yeah, to me, it's like right up there with using a toilet. It's like, no, 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 no. I go to my friends' houses all the time. I said, "Can I use your bathroom?" And as I walk out, they comment, "Well, I didn't hear the toilet flush." Oh, was I supposed to use the toilet? Oh, how silly of me! I peed in the sink. Because my hand is like right there. Everything's taken care of. All right. When a doctor claims that any disease is incurable, on the bottom of 164, I might have skipped around. What they're really saying is that their limited education and profession does not include self healing and cannot help you, which is kind of sad. And it's a statement about our medical practice because there was a time where doctors were real doctors. And I don't know if you remember the 1950s when doctors would make house calls and they had their little doctor bag. And you could feel there was a heart. The doctor really cared. But they've been manipulated and controlled for so long. Our whole image of doctors has changed.
Yeah, a lot of them are employed now, so they don't really have control over stuff like that anymore.
Hmm. And they kind of like keeping their lifestyle and their golf course membership and everything else that comes with being, a doctor. Page 165. We're going to go to 11:15 before we take a break here. Doctors do not promote AUT either because they don't know about it or they do know about it and they will lose their reputation, license, and practice if they tell the truth. Can you imagine having to live with that? You know the answer to healing, but you're told not to let people know because then you can't get your kickback from. I learned years ago that a doctor who recommends a CAT scan. You know what a CAT scan is? You go through this machine and they radiate you and they take an X-ray of your body. It takes them 30 seconds to say, "Well, I highly recommend you get a CAT scan." The guy gets $385 kickback from the CAT scan company. So why wouldn't he be incentived? What an incentive, huh?
Mm.
Even if he knows it's harming people, but he's looking at the bottom line. The word incurable really means incurable, meaning that from within we are curable. Understanding the word in a new way reveals that healing is an inside job. Orin is the cure-able miracle drink that is already available to you right now. Number 3, page 165. Keep in mind that practicing AOT every day is a lifestyle choice, which requires a strong connection to Shivambhu, your body, daily discipline, and utmost faith. What we're developing, and this is what you're doing with your students and your clients, is to helping them design a wellness program that will not only give results today, but they will practice it the rest of their life. And if you've seen a lot of wellness lifestyles come and go, people have been there, done that kind of thing because it didn't give them the results they wanted or they weren't educated enough to make it valuable for them. So part of our job is to make sure they know what they're doing. Any questions so far? That would be a no. All right, keep breathing. Keep in mind that practicing AUT is a lifestyle choice. All right, next one, number 4. When a client is ready to learn about AUT and how to present it to others, that's when their journey really begins. Use your own free personal curative to reclaim health and well-being without any expense. The only cost, you're going to love this. This is how cheap this lifestyle is. The only cost is containers with lids, soft cloth material, rubber bands to store the urine, a couple of eye cups, enema bag, clamp, related supplies, neti pot, cotton balls, washcloth, tongue cleaner, glass dropper bottle, Tupperware tub, next page 166, Q-tips, an 8-ounce cup, and a good imagination. Do you see how inexpensive this lifestyle is? And if you use your imagination, you probably have all this equipment at your house. And I say that so you can remind other people. Well, do I have to buy a whole lot of equipment? Look in your medicine cabinet, look in your drawers, look in all over the house. You probably have something that you hadn't thought could be used for this, but now you know. Like the Butt Master. Is it really called that?
What's that?
I called it that.
Where did you come with the 2222?
Yeah, because it's 2022.
Oh, okay, you went for the date.
2222.
Yeah, it was perfect. I loved it. All right, page 166. On being
Ben, it's the thing that I was showing the other day.
yes.
Oh, the enema thing, or
No, for sitting.
oh,
Instead of a full bath, you can sit into a bucket.
oh, huh.
Did you not see that, Ben?
No.
All right, go to youtube.com/Brother Sage, and it's uploaded on my YouTube channel.
Hmm.
Tanya's now a rock star.
Yay.
All right. Establishing trust and connection with students and clients is achieved from the skills and expertise you keep developing as an Urine Therapy professional. Relationships with clients get easier as you bring a clear state of mind, calm energy, sensitivity, and presence into every meeting with them. How do you think it looks on your resume to say you're a urine therapy teacher?
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a new paradigm, and what people used to put on their resumes might be changing. Okay, I just thought I'd throw that out there. Looks good on my resume. You guys. Relationship building develops organically into mutual trust and admiration. Remember, it's not up to you to make any decisions, set rules, or boundaries for your clients. As with any form of therapy, you are the facilitator or guide of every session or consultation. Despite how a client may perceive you, you are not to presume any role as a healer, savior, or authority for them. And where did I write that down? I might have mentioned it before. Your work is your work. Their work is their work. Don't do their work for them. And this is going to apply to everything you do in life. It's real easy to want to step in and rescue people, but that's not our job. The responsibility for healing and well-being is always up to the client. A mere shift of perception is all that is required to heal oneself. Course in Miracles. Your work is to teach information that will lead a client to learn their own unique way on this path. This empowers them to become motivated and self-disciplined in restoring their health and well-being. And it's obvious to me after talking to a whole lot of people over the last 5 years that a lot of people have given so much power to the world and to the medical profession. They're scared. They're really scared. And you tell them you don't have to rely on them and your body will guide you. It takes some getting used to. So we need more compassion and understanding with everybody. We're all in kind of an interesting time on our planet. So the more you can be sensitive to them, the better. When a client is excited or inspired by why they're drinking their pee and using UT protocols daily, then their commitment and success is assured. You just did your job and made a best friend for life. Have you noticed that, Anne? That the people who have taken your advice and started urine therapy have become BFFs?
Yes, that is true in my experience for sure.
You'll notice that, Tanya, as well. These are the perks of doing your job right. All right, there's a link to Facebook about teaching method. I don't know if that link's good or if anybody's tried that yet, but there it is, a urine therapy shortcut teaching method. Bottom page 167. Lead with this question. Do you think urine can be beneficial to one's own health? Have you ever asked anybody that question? Be interesting what kind of response did you get?
Do you think urine can be beneficial? Oh, a lot of responses I get sometimes is that, oh yeah, I've heard about that before many years ago. Yeah, I know people who have cured stuff with drinking urine. I get that a lot.
Yeah, cool. So this person's already got their mind open to the possibility. It might even be good for them.
Yeah.
Yep, you can take them to the next step after that. This gets them thinking about it, and no is the usual answer I get from people. I've always taught that piss is toxic, and so my reaction has always been disgusting, and it smells, well, like pee. Duh. This is when you remind them of the situations in which urine is commonly used. Peeing on your feet for athlete's foot, fungus, or smelly feet. Soldiers were taught in the Army Survival Manual to drink pee for survival. If stranded on a desert or out in the ocean, page 168, to this they respond, well, yes, but that's the only time I would drink it, would be to save my life. Okay, guys, that's as far as you go, huh? We agree that if it saves your life, bingo, your door of opportunity just presented itself. How could something that is toxic or a waste material save your life? Their mind just made a room to hear what you have to say about urine therapy. So take a breath, relax, and in your own way, briefly tell them that what you know about this method. This is the point where the topic can be discussed more openly without you being labeled as a complete idiot and someone that's crazy. And if they do that, smile and give them a hug. Oh, you've really gotten to know me, haven't you? Thank you. Then I go into the baby in the womb amniotic fluid is pee teaching at that point. Where the conversation goes from there, this point is up to you. Call Brother Sage if you need a backup on your team. Don't worry, pee happy. It's the Shivambhu high that has created millions of Shivambhu devotees across earth who are keeping up this practice every day as their secret health program. Urine therapy can be easily explained. Page 169. No complicated lab tests are required, no intricate scientific explanations are necessary, and no diagnosis is needed. Remind clients that there are no risks, dangers, negative side effects, or worry about other than possible cleansing and healing reactions. I mean, that would be the only disclaimer on the side of a pee bottle. Did anybody ever get any gamutra, the cow urine from India?
No.
All right, they're selling this on eBay, Amazon. You can buy cow urine and camel urine. And a friend of mine, did I tell you this? A friend of mine brought it to me from India.
You didn't tell us, I don't think.
Yeah, she happens to be the woman who's teaching me about sovereignty. She was there with Elatom Elamine, the breatharian. And she says, oh, Sage has got to have some of this cow urine. So she brings it back to me. I took one whiff of it. I'm going, whoa, that smells like the floor of a barn. Oh my God. And so I drank it. I'm going, it tastes like the floor of a barn. So I couldn't get my mind to drink it. So I was using it topically and putting it in my plants. And that was the last time I ever went to cow urine. But I noticed it didn't say anything like any exceptions on the side of the label, anything to be concerned about.
Yeah, I've seen on one of the urine therapy Facebook groups this guy that said he drinks a gallon of cow urine a day. I don't know why, but
And where was he from?
I'm not sure. Probably somewhere in the U.S.
Well, there's a video of a guy, you might have seen him. He's at the backside of the cow. The cow's got his tail up, and the cow is pissing, and he's underneath giving himself a massage from the cow urine. You haven't seen that? The guys in India, they're in a whole nother mindset than the guys in America. Okay, I'm not going to go too deep into that one. Once a person starts drinking pee and including topical protocols, clients get results rather quickly and make their commitment to stay with AUT. These have been scientifically validated. Science reports, we got these. If anybody needs science reports to validate the theory, many people have serious conditions, are improving considerably in a week, up to a month, and on the average. And what kind of turnaround have you noticed on your health challenges when you're doing it, either topically or orally? Does it seem to stretch on, or does it happen rather quickly, the healing?
Very quickly, in my experience.
And name one example.
I had, I think, a bit of a fungus or something on my big toes. And Zach came home with one of those aerated, bubbling foot baths this week.
Yeah, saw that.
And it was like, I don't know, I guess it was a bit black, I guess it's a fungus, but it's gone now.
Okay, and how many days did it take?
3 good sessions. 3 really good sessions of soaking. I don't know, half an hour at
Mhm.
least. It's gone. Yeah,
Yep.
great.
So yeah, just keep doing it. The capillary burst that I might have showed you last week is almost all healed.
Hmm.
Nice.
It was like it taken up a whole lot of my arm.
Man,
But I keep a pee jar in my car. So I've gotten into this habit of wherever I am, if I'm in a parking lot, just open the door and open the jar and put my hand outside the car and just start wiping my body down. And you can give yourself treatments on the go. So keep your medicine nearby wherever you go. All right, page. We're on page 170. Any questions so far?
No, also for sunburn. I burn very easy. I was in the sun all day yesterday, just keeping this with me, and
Yeah.
I got no sunburn.
And you could cover enough area with that little sprayer?
Oh yeah, it mists. I misted my face and everywhere that was exposed, and yeah, easy.
Okay.
Anai, did you use it instead of sunscreen?
Yeah, no sunscreen, and I usually burn. I got red hair and a bit of freckles, which actually Dr. Loda said for any ladies listening here, I'm gonna test it out. Take potato and
Yeah.
rub the potato and then apply Orin after. And apparently it works to take freckles away. You know, I like my freckles, but I'm just going to test it out anyway.
Mhm.
Zach, do
Oh
you
yes,
have
please
freckles?
tell us. Tell us because they become really big.
Mm, yeah,
So
I'll
the
let you
before,
know. I still got to get your contact details, Tanya. So keep in touch on
Yeah.
Facebook or somehow.
Oh yeah, me
Yeah.
too, because I like to some permaculture.
Yeah.
Telegram. Telegram we'll speak about that. Okay, so instead of sunscreen, I just put some on my skin.
Oh,
put it
yeah.
on before you go out in the sun. And then
Mhm.
put
Yeah,
it on after you get out in the sun.
I like to use age that's real concentrated, like evaporated in the sun, so it's more like a syrup.
Mm.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Yeah,
Always
and
keep
you'll
some
also
in my
notice
bag.
the sting does not linger. The sunburn sting doesn't linger. And I don't know about you, Annie. I noticed that I had a deeper tan.
Yes, that's very nice benefit too. I actually go brown.
Yeah, it makes your skin sort of brown to put aged on.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. So
So that's the secret self-tan cream, which costs nothing and is completely organic.
Yeah.
and you can tell people you put urea on your skin. They go, "Where do you get urea from?" Oh, your bladder.
Mhm.
My body makes urea, and I just slap it on. I don't have to worry about sunburns. All right. We're on page 170. This is about surveying a client. And what this is referring to is when you survey a client, you're basically gathering information. You're like a um, you're like an investigator, and you're trying to find out what's going on with their diet, what's going on with their lifestyle, what do they do to exercise, what kind of state of mind, attitude, do they have any kind of spiritual practices? Because if you can get to what the root of all their issues are, that in urine therapy, you can help them design the lifestyle that will prevent and cure anything. And that's very empowering to know that you don't have to worry about what's going on the planet or what's airborne or what everybody else is getting because you're bulletproof when you build this into your lifestyle. Why pee? Why would you want to drink your pee? What do you think that the truth is about Orin? These are some questions you can throw at people. What or who was your influence? Can you recall any defining moments that may stand out that inspired your decision? What mental obstacles, if any, did you have to overcome to take the first drink? Now, if you're going to do any urine therapy interviews or do any shows with people, come back to these pages because this will give you some great script to use when you're interviewing people. Tanya just keeps going like through black holes. She disappears, she comes back. Amazing. What mental obstacles? Bottom of page 170, about to switch to 171. Are you ready to make a commitment to practice UT? For a newbie, did you experience a gag reflex at any time during the first drink of your pee? Was it easy or difficult for you to do this? Do you have the courage? See, the reason I want to ask these people these questions because they might still be having a challenge building this into their lifestyle and accepting the fact that maybe you're right and this is actually good medicine for them. So you're helping to build that into their belief systems. Besides drinking Orin, are you open to trying any of the protocols and have your own direct experience? We're on page 171, Tanya. So you will really know what Shivambhu can do for you. Have you tried any of the other topical UT protocols? What are your favorites and why? You guys have favorites?
Oh, this thing's just, it's my favorite.
You guys ever seen a container like that before?
Is that a dropper or spray?
It's just a nasal spray bottle,
Oh,
but
okay. Yeah.
yeah, I use it topically. I use it for my nose. I used this yesterday for, applying the sunscreen. It's great. So easy.
So it just simply has a small little plastic tube in the bottle, right?
Yeah, look.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Did you guys catch the pressure on that one?
Mm-hmm.
Look, she just humidified her room. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, Ben, you could pick that up at any pharmacy.
And for animals too. That's good for animals. Just,
Brilliant, brilliant. And
Yeah, I
that
have a dropper like that.
it holds like what, 2 ounces?
is this 2 ounces?
I think so.
Yeah. Zach says it's about 2 ounces.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
the 3 ounces are nice because you can take them on an airplane too if you fly anywhere.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And you never know when you want to spray the headrest in front of you. Or the tray table when it comes down or whatever you need to. It might be fun is when you fly an airplane, just go barefoot. Once you get on the plane, kick off your shoes and start spraying your feet. Nobody's going to know. Unless they start smelling you, that's all.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried any of the topical protocols and why? Where did you get your UT education? Are you serious about telling others about your UT discovery and personal success with the protocols? How has keeping up your daily UT practices affected your well-being or life? Do you think that you will ever consider stopping this practice? Page 172. Can you explain the changes you are going through that is giving you the best results with UT? For example, diet, food choices, lifestyle, way of being, or mindset. Have you noticed that many of the people in the urine therapy communities are lightening up their diet? They're moving toward raw foods. They're moving toward veganisms. They're moving to fruitarianism. They're doing more fasting.
Mm-hmm.
Has that been your experience, guys?
It seems
Yeah.
like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's prompting you to make those changes or to walk away from the standard diets? What do you think that?
Very naturally for me.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I started drinking, I just craved fruit. And that's what I eat still mostly. I eat some vegetables now, but it's mainly fruit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the need for all the other food anymore, unless it's like I'm at a party and it's there. Then yeah,
Right.
I feel like I'd like to have some. But other than that, it's all right. I don't need to have cooked food anymore.
So have you noticed that the pull or the craving from those other foods has dropped off?
Yeah, normally. But if it's right there, I feel like, oh, it would be nice to have it.
Like for old time's sake?
But yeah, it's like a treat more. It's more like having a cookie sometimes. Yeah, a treat.
Yeah, that's all in our head about reward and punishment around food. And for me, I started going, well, at the end of the day, a mango is a reward. Watermelon is a reward. Kiwi fruit is a reward. And that is how I've been like reprogramming myself all these years instead of going for desserts like a lot of people do. I remember going to a casino with some friends years ago, and we went to the all-you-can-eat buffet, and I was really hardcore raw foodist. And I'm going, well, what can I eat here? Buffet is the American diet. So I was eating all the garnishes. There was kale and parsley and cilantro and little pieces of fruit. And that's all I ate, right? And I noticed that they had meat and potatoes and they had coffee and it was all over. They had dessert, and then we went home and they had wine and they had more desserts. And I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. They got up at 9 o'clock in the morning complaining of a headache. I said, gee, how do you think that happened? So you probably saved a lot of time learning all this stuff so that you don't have to punish yourself and go through that hard stuff that everybody goes through. All right. Any questions before we go to chapter 13?
No.
So we can go another 15 minutes or we can take a break now. What do you guys feel like doing?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Here we go. All right. Page 173. Who would like to read?
Oh, I'll read.
Thank you.
Oh, chapter 13, preparing for a UT session. How a teacher prepares for a UT session is just as important for the teacher as it is for the client. With a general understanding of Urine Therapy from studying this manual and other UT resources, personal experience, and teaching AUT, you are all ready to be an AUT teacher. The work begins when you are present, really listening with a client, following your intuition and knowing and or trusting that the session will be perfect in every way. You no longer have to think about what to say or what to do because Source is directing you. In this chapter, we explore the use of the breath, meditation, centering, and trusting one's inner knowing or guidance before starting a session with a client. Being calm, centered, and present gives you deeper insight into a client's emotions that arises from unconscious beliefs, programming, and mental patterns that are at the core of their health problems. All names and labels of what the medical system calls disease or illness is based on a diagnosis or theories, which comes from their medical education and is merely a suggestion. According to Don Miguel Ruiz, an author of The Four Agreements, modern medical practices are a form of black magic or hypnotic suggestion. Being present with clients causes insights and guidance to go much deeper, be more accurate, and bring more benefits. We are not only facilitating the session, we are guiding the client in using the mind to change beliefs about themselves and their life. We are bringing hope, courage, strength, and motivation to every client. Mastering the daily practice of AUT teaches you how to teach others, how to master the discipline needed to heal and accomplish anything. Using your own breath and meditation practices or rituals before or during a session sets the stage or energy for you to get the most out of each session. It's a good idea to set aside time to lay or sit down and practice doing a minimum of 30 conscious connected breathing cycles every day. Spend at least 20 to 30 minutes meditating, taking a walk quietly in nature, and being still and silent in the mind, energy, and body. Breathe. Let go of all that doesn't really matter. It's very important in counseling or coaching clients to teach them these yogic practices. This supports them through all their adjustment period they'll be facing along their UT journey. Teaching others to practice daily conscious connected breathing creates calm and joyous humans who, by the nature of their mindfulness to their breath while in the presence of others, are spreading conscious breath work to countless numbers of people during their life journey. Other centering practices may include Tai Chi, Qigong, chanting, meditation, laughing, dancing, doing art projects like sculpting and painting or drawing pictures. Every student may get inspired to either share Urine Therapy with others or become a UT teacher someday. Always look at the big picture for UT, for all humanity, and how every person is affecting evolution for future generations.
Okay, so your job as a UT facilitator or a UT teacher, or your job as any kind of facilitator, is to be at the of the end of the session before you start, meaning you're already at the place where they've already gotten the insights, the information, and the breakthrough, and so you can stay calm and steady while their brain catches up. They're coming to you, they're scared, they're nervous, they're panicky, they're off center, so they're not going to be able to access that infinite understanding. But if you stay calm and center, you can guide them to that place. And so in some ways, I always felt like I'm a spiritual 911 responder. And when you're calm enough, and the universe knows that you are prepared to be of service at any one moment in time, uh, you might be getting all kinds of people coming towards you for help. And your job is to take one at a time and not think about the workload or think about the next person. It's like Anae does body work, I found out. So when you're doing body work, all you're doing is you're being present with that muscle group that you're presently pressing on. They're right there. You're not thinking about the clock. You're not thinking about your next client. If you're a real good massage therapist, you're focusing on the insertion point, the trigger point, the release point, their breath, their body, and staying present with the entire treatment. Then you're going to give 100%. So that also applies to this work. Any questions? Okay, we're going to go to chapter 14. I'm going to read for a couple of minutes and then we'll take a break. Page 177. You guys there?
Mhm.
Remember, the clients are seeking you for guidance, counsel, and to be on their healing team. That's all that is really needed. You really need to know. Invite clients to breathe, shuffle their bare feet on the floor or carpet, and clear the mind of chatter so that they are present with you and ready to get started. Returning a client's mind to balance moves their thoughts away from conflict, hopelessness, and fear to a mind open to the possibility of being healthy, happy, and free again. At this point, you can begin inquiries or just listen. Many bring their anxieties and concerns, page 178, about their illness or condition to the session or of conversation, so keep reminding them to breathe. And this is the same, and I get this a lot. The first thing they want to talk about is their problem before even being polite enough to say, "Hi, good to see you." Have you had people come in life? They press play the moment you get in their presence. And here comes the story, and you go, "All right, let's slow it down a bit." We're going to get to that. Let's just acknowledge each other first. You're building a relationship with every client. Your role is multifaceted and you can appear to play many roles for them. As you move through a session, discovering as much as you can about their diet, their lifestyle, their self-care, their mindset, you're listening for clues to reveal the true cause of their illness. Did I tell you the 2 reasons people get sick? It's either what you eat or what's eating you. And if you're not dealing with the emotional counterpart, it's going to take a lot longer to heal. You'll find out something happened to you as there was a trauma that happened as a childhood, and it just never got addressed and never got brought up to be healed, and that's influencing your health. So as soon as we can clear the core issues, the better. Since they chose you as a coach for them, their healing, they trust you. It is this trust of you that will keep their mind open to their questioning, your guidance, and suggestions. Breathe. Remind them often. Take deep breaths. Great. Let's get started. During the inquiry stage of this consultation, the questions you will ask are in no particular order. And here's just a random list of some of the questions you'll be asking them in a session. What are your health concerns? What do you normally eat? What size are your proportions? And this is something you may want to consider if you're still into food, if you're a big foodie. What size are your proportions? How many meals a day? How often? How late? Do you chew 30, like 20 to 30 times? I mean, they taught that back in the 60s. How early do you eat? What did you eat today? What do you do to relax? And what I didn't add there is, did you eat anything today that you had regretted or feel guilty about? Scratch that from your food choices, okay? What do you do to relax? What time do you go to sleep at night? What do you get up? When do you get up in the morning? How do you quiet your mind? The other thing I would have asked is, how do you manage your energy? What if any are some of your spiritual practices, like meditation, chanting, yoga, silence? Do you practice intermittent or regular fasting or enemas? Some people have told me they're intimidated to do an enema. They're afraid of doing an enema. Somebody told them it wasn't healthy not to do an enema. I said, you got to get over it. This is a lifesaver. People knock out headaches like that. People knock out pain in their body like that. 1 or 2 good rounds of enemas and colonics does miracles for people. As you are gathering information, you are also listening to their choice of words, description, emotions they express behind their words. And if you're on a video camera, you can pick up clues from watching their body language. You can get better each time that you guide or facilitate a session at reading a client and getting insights that are beyond your education or your intelligence. Your intuition will show you what they have been believing about themselves, their body, and their relationships. You can choose to help them process and clear their negative limiting beliefs, or lovingly and sensitively listen deeply and offer treatment suggestions, dietary and lifestyle choices, and teach them how to enjoy a life worth living. Giving them positive affirmations, 5 more minutes. Giving them positive affirmations will help them to raise the quality of their thoughts about themselves and about their life. Never underestimate the power of affirmations that could bring about shifts of perception that could be heard, felt, and integrated at all time during the session. Do you guys work with affirmations? Cool. Do you work with clients or friends or students with affirmations?
Yeah.
Good. One of the things that we'll be doing at the retreats. Oh, you're twisted, sister. One of the things that we do at the retreat is we teach the power of creative thinking and how to use affirmations and power statements to do a quantum healing in your life at any time. And if I didn't teach this in this course yet, let me know and I'll teach you the power statements. Have I taught that yet, Tanya?
You mean the 4 steps?
Well, the first one
Up
is
until now.
up until now. What's the second one?
I'm willing to see things differently. So up until now, I used to believe da-da-da.
Okay, and the second one is
Now I'm open
to the possibility.
to the possibility of seeing things differently. Number 3 is I choose to
No.
know that da-da-da, and you insert your new affirmation. And at the end, you say thank you.
Yes, and watch the magic happen.
Da.
Da 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 da. So
Da-da.
we lost at 11:11. We lost Annie and Zach. Interesting timing. All right, I'm going to bookmark where we're leaving off. We're going to use this as a break time. Turn off the recording. DDD.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, grab your books, guys. You can tell I'm a cat lover. I've always had a cat in my life, except for now. All right, we're on page 180. Your intuition will show you what they have been believing about themselves. I already read that. Give them positive affirmations. Give them assignments. Let's go to the bottom of page 180. Give them assignments, practices, and resources. Helps build a solid foundation to start and continue their practices for life. Page 181. A good way for you both to stay present and on the same page is to use audio or video recordings in every session. And when you're doing consultations with people, some people want to take notes, and some people prefer not to take notes so they can stay with you. And this is where either videotaping or doing audio comes in real handy. So you may want to consider that. This will avoid any distractions and allow the conversations to flow much easier. A teacher or therapist will naturally be taking notes or key points of what is being said. We will be also writing down insights and guidance as best you can, so keep up with the conversation. The reason, I don't know about all therapists, the reason I take notes while they're talking is so because each note gives me an indication of something deeper. So you can track it to their core issues a lot quicker. Because most people are just talking on the surface, but if you're paying attention, there's something under it. And that your job is to probe and go deep into it so you can unravel the belief system so there's no more belief systems that are limiting them or hurting them. Oh, is your dog a hybrid or just a pure poodle?
He's just a poodle.
Okay. Page 181. Remind them that you will be sending them a link to or a copy of the recording of the session, which is held in confidence. Clients may, on occasion, give you permission to transcribe any non-personal information that can be used toward any new training material. And you may have noticed that when I have sessions with people, it's never posted on the internet. That's just between you and the client. It's kept that way. Use sensitivity and discernment if or when you feel that it is appropriate to challenge them in any way or call them out on their beliefs, issues, behaviors, or diet. Simply ask permission and then you can go for it. You know what I mean by that? You may not want to challenge them on what they said or what their diet is like or what their belief system, unless you feel like that's appropriate. And that goes in the area of tough love, calling people on their stuff. Page 180, 182. Now, near the close of each session, let them know that their time is almost up and ask if they have any closing remarks before we schedule our next session. Did you enjoy your session? If you get stuck, the reason, you know why I ask them if they enjoyed the session?
Why?
To find out if you're a good match for them.
Mm-hmm.
If they like what you do and they like who you are, then they'll continue to do more sessions. And you also give them a way to make their own choice to back away if they need to do that. That way you're not attached to, oh, but they're my client. Doesn't work that way. They're coming to you out of choice. If you get stuck, confused, scared, or concerned about your UT practices, changes occurring in the body, or if you're doing UT correctly, let me know. A UT therapist often makes good friends with a client. This lets them know that you can reach out to you for support or feedback between sessions. Keep up your disciplines, and so will your clients. Have you noticed that, guys? That if you're practicing UT every day, your clients tend to do the same thing? Yeah. They're watching you under a microscope. They want to know that, are you really secretly eating McDonald's food? Are you secretly doing non-urine therapy practices? Are you the real deal? And I've gotten that for years. I'm going, you can look at every area of my life. I walk the talk. So it's nice to know that you're that kind of a person.
It's a reflection of ourselves. So if we vibrate clearly that, and if we live the way we say we are or they should be living, and secretly we have the cookies in the closet, our vibration will tell.
Yeah. And they may not know. They'll pick up on it, but they may not know it.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank
They
you.
might also, do you think that they will also cheat themselves? Because once if I cheat myself, the clients are more likely to cheat themselves as well.
Oh, well, it's transferable.
Yeah.
And if they're cheating on themselves, you'll discover it on the next session. You know, if they're sluggish and they're slowing down, their energy gets zapped, their mind isn't clear. Oh, that would be a good time to ask them, what did you really eat last week? Be honest with yourself. Roll up your sleeves, guys. It's time to be of service and to give the client your best work. As you continue studying UT, practice the following. Number 1, page 182. Calm the mind, become aware of the presence. Now you're ready to begin a session. Breathe, let go, and relax. It's a conversation that matters with you as their guide and loving friend. Number 2, listening, paying close attention to what's being said and to what is not being said lets you hear what is just beneath their words. Compassion, page 183. Compassion is the art of feeling what they're feeling as well as what you are feeling or picking up from their words, body language, and energy. Use of compassion will bring comfort and safety to a client. Then you can take the first step. The stages or steps will be discussed in more detail later in this chapter. They include making the internal shift to unlearn what you have been taught about Orin. Number 2, having the discovery or aha or breakthrough known as the adjustment period is often felt as one is dying or breaking apart, but is in truth a mere shift of perception disguised as a breakthrough. That's out of the Course in Miracles. Finally, Teacher's Manual. Finally, after the integration stage, the client knows they are home by a feeling of wholeness, peace or home to the real or authentic self. Bottom 183. Drop into your center, be sensitive, compassionate, and present. You are about to give 110% of your abilities to the client in their session. You know why left-handed people are so gifted? Because they're the only ones in their right mind. I'm sure she's heard the left-handed joke. Oh, you're left-handed, aren't you? Yeah. Although most UT sessions average 60 to 75 minutes in duration, you and the client will feel or know when the session has ended or chooses to continue until it is complete. Grab a notebook and pen before a session begins. You will be writing down as much as the client says as possible. These notes give you clues in real time by how the client is describing, feeling, and thinking about their health, body, their life, and themselves. Your ability to listen to what is not being said is just as important as what is being said by the client. You know what I mean by that? Yeah, you get more sensitive, you pick up on it. While you're taking notes during the session, you are also receiving information or insights used to make recommendations, which lead to make the necessary changes for them to achieve self-healing and a better quality of life. Beyond just telling them to drink and apply Orin, your clients count on you as to answers to tough health challenges, guidance, and relief from stress and concerns. Practice, practice, practice. After the session ends, review your notes. Use this time to replay the session in your mind and find any corrections to be made in your teaching, listening, or coaching skills. And that's the same thing you want to tell your clients when the session is over. Grab out your piece of paper and pen and write down all your insights so you don't lose them. When the class is over, write down your insights so you have those fresh while you still have them fresh. Page 185. Be sure to acknowledge the good work that your client is doing. Acknowledgement for your good work will come later. After learning these steps from guiding several clients through successful sessions, this will become second nature to you. The day will come when you will know confidently and with certainty that you give the most perfect advice and treatment suggestions for every client. When working with clients, let them know that you will start the session or consultation with an Orin toast or communion as a way to honor the water with their journey and allow Spirit to guide the session. So if you can start off your session with a sacred moment without just jumping in as the teacher and the student, that will help plant the seed for this be a unique session for you. All right. And this is a session with a client. We're going to skip this, but if you get a chance to read this, I just wanted people to get a bird's eye view or a fly in the wall kind of thing. Well, these sessions that Brother Sage does, what are they? What do they look like? Can I do what he does? Anyway, so this was I get more and more clients from India and Africa, and so that's why I threw that in there. So when you get a chance, read through that. And then there's a client from America, page 190. All right, we're coming to page 194. Any questions? Everybody breathe.
Those the part where you've added the sessions with clients looks, yeah, very helpful. That's awesome.
Did you kind of glimpse over those when you had a chance?
Yeah.
Now every session is going to be unique. Every session is going to be based on what they bring to you. What I enjoy doing is being spontaneous with my clients without any preconceived ideas about who they are, what advice I should give. I mean, if you can stay present when the session starts, then it'll keep you from blocking getting information and listening to your intuition. The challenge I had in the beginning and other people had is they're a little bit uncomfortable or they're a little unsure of their abilities. So you need to put that aside so that you can let the information come through you and you can do a much better session. Do you guys feel intimidated at all about going into private consulting with people?
No, not at all.
Good. Are you sure about that? Yes. Okay. Yeah, the sooner you get any considerations or anxiety out of the way, the better. Because then you can really be better at what you do and you'll be more effective. So this chapter is for those that want to go turn this into a profession. And there are more and more people around the world that are monetizing their urine therapy practice. I know I wasn't the first, but there are those that think I shouldn't be doing this, and there's other people are glad that I have, and so that's going to be up to you to make that decision if you want to do this. You got to overcome the conversations that people will throw at you. But urine is free. Did we have this talk? Urine is free. I said, well, that part is. If you want my advice, if you want to know what I know, if you want to have some help, and if you want to improve the quality of your overall life and build a wellness practice for a lifetime, there's got to be an equal exchange of value. It can be money, it can be food, it can be energy. You can come clean my house. There's got to be something that's of value. So I want you to know that so you don't sell yourself short. This is one of the most valuable careers on the planet if you can see it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Have you considered going that direction? Have you ever charged for what you do with urine therapy?
Well, I've been seeing clients for the last 4 years. And it's so funny because I was guided to do it by donation only. And it's incredible. People who connect with me, we do it through Zoom as well. It's mostly for non-dual psychotherapy in regards to A Course in Miracles and such.
Mm-hmm.
And they donate, just abundantly. So it's worked well for me. So I do like saying by donation only. And it just, yeah, it's perfect. Really.
Yeah, yeah, I like that as well. And then people don't feel like a certain number is as important as the act of giving. Beautiful. All right, we're on page 194, and here we go. Remind yourself that you got healthy and well because you drink Urine. It's the water of life. It saved your life. It's keeping you vital, strong, and active. Still concerned about your partner or parents disapproving or judging you for drinking pee? Well, know that your radiant health, true happiness, and mental freedom is contagious. Walk your talk, teach by example, let them see you being true to yourself and committed to your well being. They'll come around. Hang in there. You earned your body, your mind, and your health back from every drop of Shivambhu that passed your lips. Now go tell the world. Page 195. Would you like to become a UT teacher or an author? What's the role of a teacher or a therapist? Would you like to become the next successful Urine Therapy teacher or best-selling author? Differences between teaching and counseling are especially notable as related to the goal. Teaching is about establishing a goal and giving information and possibly advice about a course of action. Ideally, The teacher conducts a need assessment and identifies a specific learning gap or challenge and establishes a clear learning goal that bridges the learning gap. Counseling is goal oriented, but is a different way. Neither the counselor nor the client has an exact agenda or agreed upon goal. In most cases, the goal of the conversation goes beyond just making suggestions on UT practices, but the inclusion of health and wellness practices for mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well being. In other words, both client and counselor, during their initial consultation, assess the client's needs, use inquiry to gather information from various areas of their life, decide if you're a match, and would make a good team to move forward working together. Any questions? Here's the, yeah, Tanya?
How do you start when somebody contacts you and wants a session with you? Do you first talk to them the first time and just to get to know them and then decide if you want to move on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
I do
give
the
it
first.
to you?
I do a 30-minute free consultation. It's known as the meet and greet,
Mm-hmm.
and you find out from both sides if you're a fit.
Mm.
If they like you, if you like them, it feels like you're going to move forward together. You're going to team up, and then if they get a yes, yeah, you schedule. You move into the session when the schedule.
Right now.
Any Texas?
All right.
He's going to be there at 2.
All right, and it's lovely when they like you. You know, you speak the same heart language or you speak the same terminology, and it's a great marriage, and you guys can do some great work together. So that's when you get to feel each other out. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Welcome. All right. The role of the client. Page 196. A teacher leads the interaction as an expert. They give information or recommend a course of action. The teacher helps the client achieve a skill, like mastering Urine Therapy and practices, and to avoid particular action. And I added the term unhealthy choices. You can add that if you want to. Instead of eating mucus-forming food, acidic, inflammatory, human-made foods, you'll suggest that they eat living foods, fast, and take enemas or practice meditation. I had to say that slowly because some people think I meant fast food. Fast, or take enemas or practice. Now, it's interesting for the people who were raw vegans and decided to go back to eating meat. Have you met some of those people? All of a sudden they're going, well, I felt the need to get more protein, so I went back to meat, and I started having cheese, and I had raw milk, and blah, blah, blah. And I point out to them, I'm going, that might be working for you, and you are aware that these are acid-forming foods, that it takes days for some time for meat to break down, and parasites are hiding in the meat, and it's inflammatory. And I give them all that stuff. I'm going, you still want to eat it? Good luck.
Oh, good. I was going to ask you about how you approach conveying the message of, dairy and it causing mucus and all these things. So that's good. That's a good little blurb.
Yeah, and what they do with the milk is they blow the molecules apart. That's called pasteurizing and homogenizing. They basically destroy the nutritional breakdown of the milk. And that goes into the cheese and the yogurt and blah, blah, blah.
But it's the same with the juices, right?
Well,
As long as when it says pasteurized, it's the same process, is it?
It's the same process. It's been heated. It's been cooked. It's been boiled. You know, the closest you can get, either make it fresh juice yourself, or there are some companies that do flash pasteurization, which means they use pressure instead of heat. But I never really dug any deeper to find out if they're just using that on the label and it's not really true.
If it was true, flash pasteurization is different from normal pasteurization.
Well, people use all kinds of terms on labels. You got to find out if they're just like pressure. Do you remember the old Norwalk juicer that came out in the 60s? What Norwalk developed was this. Now I need to put this book down here. He developed a press. So you have these cloth bags, and you've already squeezed the carrots, right? And all you've got left is this liquidy, fibrous pulp. You put it inside the cloth bags and you put it in this press, and it presses it down and compresses it down to everything. Juice comes out, and what's left is dry fiber and dry pulp. That to me is pressure. That's not heat.
Mm.
So when they say flash pasteurized, that's what I assume that is, but you don't know because label laws don't specify what's really going on. So if you can find out the manufacturer, if he's willing to be honest with you, then you'll know.
Yeah, and so the supplements, like if a client would still like to take supplements, we've discovered that a lot of these homeopathics and herbal supplements that people are charging hundreds of dollars for are been putting through processes where the nutrients of it doesn't actually get absorbed, But it's good. You mentioned in a previous class about some really good supplement companies. I guess Zach knows of them too, to put in smoothies if a client still wants to. We can recommend these companies that actually don't use those processes. I think Dr. Group also mentioned he's got a company where they don't do that.
Global Institute of Healing is Dr. Group. I recommend Health Force.
Oh, yeah.
Health Force and Pure Synergy out in Utah.
Okay.
Mitchell May, who was in a terrible car accident, and he met a healer in the hospital who taught him the power of superfoods and live foods, and he healed himself, got out of a wheelchair, and started a company called Pure Synergy. It's been around for like 30 years. Mitchell May.
So for people in the United States, those two you'd highly recommend, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to be able to know the sources of your food. I was kind of on the inside of the nutrition industry for quite a few years, consulting with health food stores, and found out some of the dirty secrets from the manufacturers and what goes on that they don't put on the label and what they don't tell the reps or the public.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked the other day, well, is it okay to eat rice? I think it was on one of the Shivambhu Telegram groups. They said, is it okay to eat rice? Because I hear there's a pure form of rice. I said, well, that's a tricky question because most of the grains are stored in silos and in warehouses, and there's mold in there, there's bugs in there, and then they take them on a semi truck that's not refrigerated, so it's got cooked while it's in the semi truck, or it crosses the border and it gets irradiated, and by the time it gets to the store, it's been affected by all kinds of different things. It's not a pure food anymore. If you're going to find anything, you got to get something that you know the source of it, and you can still, if it's still sproutable, you have a chance of making it into food. I learned that when I was importing cacao from Peru. The cacao was spiked with guarana so they could get people hooked on chocolate. And then when it crosses the border, they nuke it, they radiate it. But the general public doesn't know these dirty secrets.
Do you know of a good source of essential oils? It's not.
Essential oils, go ahead, Anne.
I'm just really interested in the question. Yeah.
Oh, Young Living has always been the standard.
Okay.
Some people like doTERRA, but that's a spin-off of Young Living, and that's not as pure.
Yeah, they're both these Utah multi-level marketing companies, but my wife has had some kind of allergic reactions from Young Living stuff, so she's usually gotten doTERRA, but I just wondered if you knew any small companies that were.
Right, there are some out there. I've got a client who has an essential oil company here in Boulder, and she's always had the highest standards. Her company was called Ananda Apothecary for a while. She just changed the name, but they're moving to France. I can see where people are allergic to certain oils because it stimulates a healing, and sometimes the die-off and the detox effect tends to cause people to go, well, it was the oil.
Yeah.
So if you're going to look at essential oils, you've got to find out how pure their manufacture is. The guys that are really good at oils, they spent time with the essential oil masters in France.
Hmm.
You know, where they have the oldest essential oil makers on the planet. They went there and they found out what's their secret.
Mm.
All right, any
You
questions?
find something in France there.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they use the old distillation method. They haven't cooked them, heated them, or tore them apart. I mean, I still have a whole variety of essential oils when I'm doing massage, and I've worked with them for 40 years. I love essential oils.
We got a Bulgarian company here. I have to look into how they make them. I
Yeah,
don't really know much about those things.
please do. A lot of the companies out there, they buy it from the same source and they just private label them, as you may have found out.
Hmm.
All right, let's go over to page 190. Oh, we already did that. 198, 199. We're moving to page 201. And I get to do a rap song. All right, presenting a UT. Now, if you go professional and you decide you want to work with the media, there are some great tips here. If you want to work with radio, television, newspaper, magazines, I've worked with all of them before. And you just have to figure out which of those are already working with the subject or are working with alternative medicine, and your timing is just perfect when you introduce it to them. I had posted on my Facebook page about a week ago. There's the Channel 7 news that came and interviewed me and Patrice about, excuse me, Teresa, about, I think it was 2018. They came to the house. I was doing Tai Chi with her, and then we're drinking the orange, showing the protocols. They did a lovely story. You might have seen the report. And at the very end, they brought in the doctor to demonize it and try to, let the public know that we're terrible people. But if you go back, you'll find out there's 60,450 views, and it's doing a great job for the community. Because the people who can see through their nonsense know what's really going on. So working with the media is very simple. It's just a matter of knowing how to present it and to who in each media platform is the right person to talk to. So if you want to do that, let me know and I can give you some help in that respect. Whether you read this manual, I'm going to just go through this pretty quick here. Whether you read the manual, were mentored by one of the UT master teachers, or felt intuitively that you're ready to become a teacher, the moment comes when you simply know you're a UT teacher. For the sake of this chapter, let's move forward in time when you have guided or facilitated enough sessions as an amateur that you feel ready to become a professional and let everyone know. Now would be the time to get prepared, get an online presence, get a website, business cards, blog, social media platform, and possibly a YouTube type of platform. Marketing and promoting your services takes time and requires being proactive and networking. Is anybody ready to go take that step? You are. Yeah. Well, you're already doing that, and people already know about you. It's just got to keep putting out content. I've made the mistake of pitching book after book after book, and I was losing people. And one of my teachers says, content. They want to know that you know the subject. So start posting articles and videos and things that educate people. And then you can tag it at the bottom with your website and your blog and your social media link. And
Yeah, I'm just thankful for this course has really helped me provide the extra information and help talk about a little bit better. And then also the world conference calls help, because now I'm in touch with Dr. Loda as well. He's messaged me this week and just said hello, and if I have any questions, he'll answer them. So yeah, I'm just really grateful, and yeah, just putting out content and making little videos. We're writing a little book as well, so it's all coming together very naturally. It's good.
Did you write there? Thunderstorm over us. I might get off. Okay, we don't want you to get in trouble. Oh, I would like to see somebody write a children's book on Urine Therapy.
Oh, that's
If
cute.
That's a good
anybody
idea.
Yeah, and it could be the story about Oren. He can be the main character. His name is Oren, and you figure out who his partner is or his girlfriend is, and you could write a whole children's story about the magical kingdom of Urine Therapy.
The magical kingdom of Urine Therapy. That's a
Come
good
on,
idea.
the kids deserve to have the education material as well as the adults.
Mm. Mm.
I mean, I saw a book at the store. It wasn't quite going the direction I thought it would be, but the name of the book was called "It's Time to Pee," and it was about teaching kids how to pee. And I'm going, we need a new paradigm on that book. We need all because they're teaching toilets. They're teaching them toilet training, and that's messed up more people.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just gonna say, because we have the 5-year-old niece here, and she's got a book about poop that sits on the toilet lid, with potty training and stuff like that. So she's got a poop book, but she doesn't have a pee book.
All right, well, she's got 1 out of 2 of the functions down. she's no problem on the poop department. Any questions about working with the press? The other thing, once you get comfortable doing interviews, is to start reaching out to podcasters and webinar people, myself, and start doing interviews. Tanya, go ahead.
I'm an interviewer. If you want to be interviewed, ask me. I can conduct the interview.
Oh, yay! We should totally hook up. Yeah. Perfect. Same. If you want to do a swap, then I can play the role as the interviewer and you can answer. It'd be good as a test, just for practice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to practice because many people don't have experience in front of the camera.
That's right. Yeah. Even if we don't post it online and we just talk and practice like that, I'll be up for that.
Yeah, it needs to be trained. Yeah.
Yes. It's the art of the conversation.
It's very difficult to be an interviewer. It's not so easy.
Yeah.
It looks
Well,
easy.
this is why folks like me write a script before we do the interview.
Yeah.
So you have prepared your questions, you prepared to be responsive. The other thing is, if you are intimidated by the word interview, which I was, I switched the word in my mind to a conversation that matters.
It's very good.
So, Anne, if you want to have a conversation that matters, we can have that. And you won't have to go, oh, it's an interview.
Yeah.
As with everything in life, you got to figure out what words resonate with you, so you don't feel intimidated by them. You're still doing an interview, but you're not calling it that.
Yeah. Ben too. Ben, if you feel like you want to practice or, let us know. We'll exchange information.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, you and Zach could have a practice session or something sometime.
Wonderful, wonderful. So if does everybody have each other's contact information? Okay, well, you can get it from each other, or you can get it from me, whatever it takes. Make sure you're able to make that kind of communication. All right, let's go to page 208. We've got about 20 minutes left, 25 minutes left. Please send, what did you ask? Please send your telegram, guys. Okay. Is that for everybody? Okay. All right, we're at the part where whether you should charge or not to charge. I think we kind of reviewed this, but this is something you have to sit with, decide if you're going to go to this as a career, and that you want to charge, and that your time and your talent and your energy and your expertise and your education is valuable. And it applies to anything you're doing. I had a talk with one of the students from the last retreat, and he just quit his day job. He says, I'm totally going to trust my source. I'm not going to work for anybody, and I think I want to be a mobile massage therapist. I said, well, are you ready to start? He said, well, don't I need certification? I said, you need certification if you believe you need certification. Some of the best massage therapists out there, they believe in themselves, they've got the talent, and word of mouth is building their practice without them even having to go through the schooling part.
Yeah, I guess you can just call it body work or something, and then you don't have to have a license or whatever.
Yeah, and it all depends on your state. Like here in Colorado, reflexology is not, you don't need a certificate or a license to practice reflexology in Colorado, which has allowed me to just blast out reflexology and foot massage in this town because it's considered soft tissue. And so I don't know about your state, but if you look it up, find out what their rules are about massage and reflexology. So that's up to you whether you want to charge or not. Without me going into the big conversation, we kind of hinted at that. Any questions?
No, not right now.
Okay, there'll be more another time. We're going to page 213. These are some of the teachers that I've been fortunate to have interviewed over the years, last 5 years. This first one is Ma Devi. She lives out in France. And she definitely is a high being, a high soul. And she's very devoted, like Abalu and some other people that may be on the screen, that this is built into their lifestyle. She's the kind of person who will not touch city water. She says, I bathe in my water. I'll take a shower in my water. I'll massage in my water, but she doesn't let city water touch her body. And so I'm just going to go through it really quick so you kind of get a feel for who she is. What a soul. It'd be nice to, I think the interview might be on my YouTube channel. I'm not sure where I put it. Shiva Kalpa, known as urine therapy, is an ancient holy science bestowed by Shiva to his consort goddess Parvati. This ensemble of practices, page 214, and techniques were initially kept a secret, only to be practiced by the seeker of truth, perfect health, divinity, and ultimately physical immortality. Since UT is often misunderstood by common human beings, Lord Shiva expressly recommended that it was not for the ignorant, therefore keeping it a secret. We're not doing a very good job with that, Shiva. Nevertheless, one can find its roots in most cultures and ancient traditions, healing recipes, and rituals as well. UT is indeed a wonderful thing, and there is such perfection in human beings, although UT is forgotten or unknown by the majority of the world. UT is rejuvenating, healing, holds mystical powers for those who have the fortunate luck to discover it, fully explore it, and most of all, stay devoted to their daily UT practices for the long run. UT is a wisdom and a tantra yogic sadhana or practice. You can find qualities it will bestow on the practitioner in Shivambhu Kalpa, which is also called the Damar Tantra. Divine blessings, love, and light to all. Ma Deshamayi Devi. She's also known as Mataji. Anybody heard of Harry Matadine? You better by now. He's our aged urine guru out there in UK. By the way, he's got a partner now. Yay, Harry.
Wow, that's so cute. Yay.
Yeah. All right, so here, kind of go into Harry teaching really quick. I've got one or two of his books. Fresh orange, which contained allowed to sit a while, becomes what he calls aged, like a fine wine. The powers of the fresh orange grows, and the longer it is contained and allowed to sit, it is the most powerful medicine on earth. What's going on? Why does it grow in power and potency? What are the mechanisms? There are many, but the key ones are alkaline, oxygen, and negative ions, explained in his books on Amazon. In his books and his unique style of writing, he answers questions like those about benefits and use of aged orange, page 216. How do I age it? Does aged orange smell? Will sending loving thoughts to my orange make a difference? Does aged orange get affected by diet? Are these in other ways to increase the quality of my orange? Do I need to drink fresh orange before drinking aged orange? What's that white stuff at the bottom of my aged orange? You've heard all these questions. You're going to hear them again. What are all these things you guys are posting here? Oh, business day. Oh, yes.
Just contacts. Just
Yeah,
contact.
links and
about it.
email.
All right, you guys might not write those down, or when this is all over, I can email it to everybody. Whatever works.
Yeah.
Whatever works. Again, there's no such thing as bad aged orange. If it concerns you, you can scrape off any ugly looking things from the top or at the bottom. He drinks it all. Everything. Shake it all up. Chase it down, put it on your skin. You're going to get this. Be prepared. People are going to go, well, I thought it was just supposed to be golden water, really pure. And then they find sediment on the bottom, or they find it encrusted on the side, or there's a floating, like a starter mushroom for kombucha. And you have to let them know these are stem cells. This is concentrated nutrients that looks like something undesirable, but it actually is part of the medicine. All right, let's continue with Harry here. Some of mine get mushroom stuff at the top. At that point, it's even more powerful than normal. I leave you with rich blessings and a big thank you. I hope aged orange rewards you with optimal health and vitality, vigor, and a gratitude for life. We are blessed indeed with our own personal pharmacy and its power. Thousands of years from now, this knowledge of aged orange will be normal. It will be mainstream and used by everyone. But until now, you, my friend, are a pioneer, and I salute you. Thank you for carrying the torch forward and showing others the way. Those who use Urine Therapy and aged Urine will always be standing on the right side of history. And there's an article by George. You know who George Johnson is? The guy who had his legs removed?
Oh, no.
He's in Montana, and he's a guy who went to Yellowstone National Park and wrote Shivambhu in chalk on the entranceway to Yellowstone Park. He's got 4 or 5 tie-dye shirts that say Shivambhu. His license plate says Shivambhu. You might say he's into it.
Wow. And one of our other water brothers went to Montana to go stay with him, right?
He did. There
Yeah.
was some issues, and now he's in Texas.
Oh, nice. Just around the corner from you.
Yeah, or south from me, yeah. I said, well, if you're in Texas, let's hook you up with Dr. Group, who's in Houston.
Nice.
So I think he's in Dallas or somewhere near there. So George Johnson, that's his writing. I just was going to point it out to you because everybody who has written about Urine Therapy deserves to get some time in the spotlight. And that's George. He's been writing about this for years. The guy next to him, page 219, is Dr. David Jubb. Has anybody heard of Dr. David Jubb?
No, tell us more.
Dr. David Jubb is originally from Tasmania, which is near Australia. And he was raised in a culture like the Aborigines, where urine therapy was part of his culture. So he's known it since he was a young child. Well, I ran into him at the Water of Life Symposium in Las Vegas in 2018. And at the time, he had not eaten anything for 10 years. So he stepped into breatharianism. And he's one of these guys who's got the brain of a rocket science and quantum physicist. And if you can look at some of his conversations, like life colloids, And arteriosclerosis is rampant in the modern world, and nitrous oxide, carbon dioxide are all smooth muscle dilators. I mean, he can talk in a language that's above my head. But he's an incredible teacher. He's produced longevity. He's got a company that makes longevity products, and that's David Jupp. He actually endorsed one of my books, and so I wanted you to, if you want to look him up on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll do that. Wow.
One of the
So
things
inspirational.
he had formed an alliance with David Wolf years ago, and that helped launch his career in a real positive direction. And David Jubb is still around, I believe. I have to check. I don't know if he pulled an Andrew Norton Webber and went underground, but that's him.
Mm, very cool. Yeah, it's nice to know about all these people that we can make connections with. Tanya, you might need to buy a plane ticket and come meet us all in the US.
You should come here.
Let's have that talk. Let's set something up, and as soon as the restrictions are off at the airports in the countries, yeah, you'll have me there.
Definitely. It's a very nice and safe place here.
Good, good. I like that. So we got a few more minutes here. I just want to point out some of these folks really quickly. Dave Murphy, you've heard of Allegedly Dave? Dave Murphy is known for, he's one of these truthers, and so he talks about everything from urine therapy to flat earth to sovereignty. And he's originally from England. He's not in England right now, but he did a 30-day fast on his Orin. And at the time, very few people had gone that distance. So he was like a pioneer to let people know you could live off your water. I don't remember if he had cancer or what his condition was, but he did a 30-day fast, and I thought that was remarkable.
Yeah, wow.
And you already mentioned Fabian Farquharian. He's
Yeah, his content I love because he's just like one of the top science guys in the UT community. So I like to sort of delve into a little bit more of putting it under a microscope and, a whole bunch of fun stuff, which we know is intuitive, but I like it. Yeah, his content's great.
Yeah, and can you keep up with his whiteboard when he's mapping it all out on a board and he's showing the molecular structures and everything fits in, and you're going, I'll get it somewhere. I'll file it away somewhere. It reminds me of there's somebody I know who's a very evolved being, and she comes in and she teaches about the ascended masters and these beings on anywhere from 13 to 15th dimension. And I'm going, I'm still getting on the fifth dimension part. When you get up to 15 dimensions, I need to file it somewhere, and when the time's right, I'll understand it. But at the moment, I'm going, it's not landing. I don't know what this 15th dimensional thing is. I mean, it took me years to figure out that we had more than 7 chakras. So there's a lot of things that we're learning that's going to really expanding us in the next few years. Leah Sampson is from Canada. She lets people know she's a true-blooded Native American. She's goes by the name of Standing White Buffalo. And she had an accident. I mean, she was overweight. There's her pictures on page 228. She was very overweight, and she was sick, and she came across urine therapy, and it saved her life. The doctor was giving up on her, and she got into urine therapy. She lost the weight. She may still be in a body cast, but it hasn't slowed her down. She's gone to Mardi Gras, and there's pictures of her dancing with full headdress and Mardi Gras clothing on. And her dance was extraordinary, and she can bring out the sexy lady. And that's Lee Sampson. And the last person that we highlighted, and let me just finish up with the rap song, and then we'll go on to turn off the recording. Any questions?
Oh, no. Sing it.
I'm going to see if I can pull this off. Page 231. What are your ailments? Are you seeking a cure? Are you given treatments that leave you unsure? Most remedies relieve us, but that doesn't matter. Masking the symptoms when the cure's in our bladder. The poisons consumed are always there. It's in our food, water and air. Some we control, no need to assume. It's simply based on what we consume. If you don't feel good, do you know why? Do you pop a pill and hope you don't die? The cure lives within us. Just look and see. It's very simple. Start drinking your pee.
Yeah, encore.
That's Casey Caban, who for years he went under the name of PP Shivambhu, and you can find him on now. He was about to be interviewed by Sarah Smiled. Do you know Sarah? Sarah Smiled from
Yeah,
Louisiana.
we're connected.
Yeah, well, they were going to interview him. Found out he skipped the United States. He's living in Peru right now. But they're going to
Nice.
try to set him up again.
Cool.
Cool. Any last questions before we turn off the recording and you guys can talk about what you want, or you can go play?
No questions. It's all just so simple.
It is so